K&T, though, this is where the talk is. The Kingston Saints go out in straight sets. Now, they were leading. Then the siren sounds. Ben Simmons from the Keith Crows has a shot for goal and nails it. Keith win the game by a point.
Bathes himself in glory.
Oh, he does. The boy from Strathalbyn did the job for Keith, the Crows.
Here on the Colour of Country Life, Flow FM, it's great to be with the Flowman in the studios and some excitement up in the Mallee, Wayne, and you got a little bit wet.
Oh, I certainly did, and I was calling the game standing up. It was that exciting, but BDT, the juggernaut, 3 in a row, they've taken Pinaroo, who were favoured to win and looked like they might even snatch it with a Baker shot for goal after the siren, but it wasn't to be, didn't make the distance, and it was the BDT Crows absolutely celebrating. And what a win it is for them. Maybe in the conditions at Pinaroo too, it was an even better win. And to savour it for those guys who, again, have gone 3 in a row.
It was close, Wayne, and I think you called it before the game that you thought that BDT would be better in the wet.
Yeah, I think so. Their ball handling, their ability to kick goals out of nothing, I think was the key, whereas Pinaroo always looked like they were fighting to get a goal out of something. And like the Lamoureux in the B grade, who are really, really good, they outclassed BDT there, but they always looked like they were the side that had possession and were going to kick more goals, and sometimes you can read that on the day.
Yeah, well, before we leave the South-East, how did things play out in Mid-South-East finals?
Oh, well, the Robe Rooster boys in Senior Colts got through, which was great for them. They're into the grand final, but it was a bit of an upset. Port MacDonald got over Kalangadoo to book themselves a place in a grand final. K&T, though, this is where the talk is. The Kingston Saints go out in straight sets. Now, they were leading. Then the siren sounds. Ben Simmons from the Keith Crows has a shot for goal and nails it. Keith win the game by a point.
Bathes himself in glory.
Oh, he does. The boy from Strathalbyn did the job for Keith, the Crows, and they go into the next round because it was a great win by Pathaway over Mundalla. So Mundalla now in a prelim against Keith in what is a great Tatiara battle.
A minute's silence or a moment's silence for the Kingston Saints?
Yes, maybe.
Oh, dear. Maybe have better luck next year, boys.
Better luck for the boys from Kingston, I'm sure. But heading over into central parts of the state, and what about in the BLG? It was South Gawler by 4 points over Newry in an absolute thriller. It puts them into a grand final. Newry will now come up against Williston, who Andrew Jarman might just savour a chance against Newry here to get a game against South Gawler in a grand final.
Yeah, it looks to me from the way that played out that Newry had a really good look at South in that game, and I think whoever comes up against South, it's not going to be an easy grand final. I don't think it'll be one-sided.
Well, in the wet conditions too, South come right back to the play. I think they're a much better skillful side in the dry. But talking about skillful, over on the York Peninsula, Pascaville at home, everyone thought they should beat the Southern Eagles. Well, the Southern Eagles showed their skill and got home and won. That puts them into the prelim because the CMS Crows just couldn't get there against Moonta. So what about this? We've got the old Southern York Peninsula sides, the CMS Crows versus the boys from down south, the Eagles, and that is going to be their prelim final in that competition.
Now, just quickly tracking through the northern areas, and then we've got to get to the Eyre Peninsula and some real excitement over there.
Yeah, having a look at northeastern footy, the Southern Saints. Boy, my boys from out there at Yadunda and Robertstown, they were no match for BSR. The Tigers, who are looking like booking themselves a place in the grand final there, but they have won 3 of the last 4 grand finals up there. And in northern areas, a terrific performance by Orroroo. Too good for BMW. They'll have another go at Broughton Mundura. And meanwhile, it was probably, if you're watching your football and loving your football, head out to the Riverland and see that those boys from Ramco, the Roosters, have got over a very, very, well, let's just say Sedan Cambrai just were no match for 3 quarters. I think they had 1 goal on the board till 3-quarter time, but came home with a wet sail, but it wasn't a big enough sail.
Yeah, it looks like could be Titletown, that part of the world, because Waikerie looked pretty cherry ripe in a grand final. Now Renmark's through, but they trounced Renmark last time they played, so Waikerie Magpies looking pretty good there.
Pretty good, you'd have to say. Of course, it's going to be interesting as we head to Eyre Peninsula. Now, how about this? We've got the grand final. It is the West Coast Hawks taking on the boys from Western United. Western United have not been able to beat the Hawks, but on the weekend they did beat the Blues in the prelim by about 10 goals, so it was a big win by them.
Certainly was, but there was a very close match elsewhere on the Eyre Peninsula, I believe, in the finals games this weekend.
Oh, there's a couple of beauties, actually. And what about Great Flinders? Johan Wagner for the Cummins Kapini Cougars has booted a bag. He's now on 97. He boots 7 out of their 10 goals. Only gets 4th best player. Give the
Stiff.
bloke- Yes, don't you reckon? And he looks like in the grand final now, he could get to his 100 with 3 to go. And speaking about that, over back at Jervois in the River Murray, got the same situation there where Josh Scott booted 4 goals. He's on 98, booked themselves a place in a grand final. He gets a shot at glory on the big day too. But the big one people are talking about is Ports have got over in Eastern Eyre and have been able to beat the Great Eastern Rangers side. And Ports are in the grand final against Kimber there, which is a fascinating duel that's ahead of us.